It might say educator in our title, but we are so much more than that. We're researchers when we observe and take photos and document children's learning. We're therapists when we support children and families navigating these emotional and tricky times. We're party planners, y'all, when we find new and exciting ways and scaffold these new celebrations and these new cultures into our classroom. We're also activists when we challenge children's unconscious bias that comes out in their language and their play, and we have these complex conversations with them. We're curators of society. We are essential. My name is Mike Browne, pronouns are he, him, and I have many, many different titles. I'm an anti-racist consultant. I'm a board member for WIAC, which is the Washington Association for the Education of Young Children. I co-host Napcast, a podcast co-hosted by two male early childhood educators of color. Or you might know me as a senior engagement manager for Hilltop Children's Center and Educator Institute in Seattle, Washington, on the traditional lands of the Duwamish tribe. And as you can see, I'm around a lot. Why? Why don't I rest? Why don't I take a day off? Why am I filming this on a Saturday evening? Because the system wasn't built for us. ECE wasn't built for Black lives, for neurodivergent minds, for those who learn through rhythm, through play, or through movement. It wasn't built para personas que hablan un idioma diferente. That's why I'm here, to let y'all know that there's a strategy set to disrupt all of that. One that over 2,000 of our colleagues across the state came together to create. A strategy that first and foremost is designed to center and create good outcomes for Black, Indigenous, and children of color, so that all of our children in our state can thrive. A strategy that requires us to collaborate. One that already began with this process here. As we saw, our design team consists of parents, caregivers, early learning professionals, state agency staff, and so many others more. As a member of the workforce design team, I'm going to share today some goals and strategies specific to Washington's early childhood workforce. And no, not just educators, but when I mean early childhood workforce, I mean childcare providers, family, friends, and neighborhood providers, home visitors, pre-K and elementary school educators and administrators, coaches, mentor teachers, directors, and more. Because the well-being of the early childhood workforce directly affects early childhood experiences. So why is this important? A strong and supportive early childhood workforce matters because providers are among the most influential of the adults who nurture a child's development and help parents and caregivers understand the early years of their child's growth. And Washington's early childhood workforce is strong, it's diverse, and it's highly committed. But even so, there is a need for greater diversity in the early learning workforce. Early childhood providers who reflect the race and culture and language of the children they serve equals an early learning system that's more culturally and linguistically responsive. Washington has worked to increase professional development opportunities, improve and align regulations for the field, and provide support through early achievers coaches and other trainers. However, many providers are challenged by low pay and lack of opportunity. Early childhood providers are amongst the lowest, let me repeat that, the lowest paid educators in Washington. Because of this, many managers and administrators report difficulty recruiting and retaining staff. Some providers report high rates of burnout due to lack of support in the classroom, and this is especially true for those working with children with special needs and those working with infants. challenges are only compounded in rural areas where there are fewer supports. It is challenging for childcare business owners and directors to balance the cost of running their business, the high cost of childcare to parents, and the pressures of compensating for their staff. So what exactly are we proposing? Well, let's take a walk and find out more together. We are proposing a set of goals and strategies in order to accomplish everything we want our workforce to be. We're going to start with broad goal statements. These are things that we hope to be true, and certainly things we are willing to work hard to ensure we achieve together in the future. Then, we'll develop strategies to accomplish these goals. Now, some strategies will address a single goal, but most of them are designed to address more than one. But the most important part of this is that we will need to develop a plan for actually acting on these strategies. And that will come only after we have your thoughts and your feedbacks. So, what do we hope to actually accomplish? I have some goals for us. Goal number 1, let's have a diverse workforce. Our early childhood workforce is robust, it's skilled, it's diverse, it's anti-racist and culturally responsive, with multiple pathways available to support continuing education and to recruit and retain early childhood professionals. Goal number 2, to provide the training and supports for this workforce. We want resources to be available to enable the workforce in settings-based, in home-based, in outdoor settings, and community services and supports to feel comfortable and confident and equipped to provide culturally sustaining and culturally responsive supports to children in their care, including children who have experienced trauma, children with special needs, and families who need healing-centered support. Goal number 3, enhance compensation. People in our industry, in our field, needs to be well compensated, both financially and in non-financial resources. And our last goal is to recover from this pandemic. We want to provide assistance to programs, services, and supports to retain our workforce and to rebuild sustainable business practices. And how will we get there? I have 9 ways that we can do this. Strategy number 1, expand access to foundational training portal for all providers. This training should be based on an understanding of the ways in which systems and institutions have perpetuated inequities for Black, Indigenous, and people of color, also known as BIPOC. Strategy 2, provide healing-centered training in anti-bias and anti-racist education to early learning workforce across early learning settings, including kindergarten through 3rd grade. Strategy number 3, radically transform pathways into our profession and to career advancement to diversify the workforce with the focus on BIPOC educators. To increase the number of early learning leaders is our 4th strategy with the focus on BIPOC and other communities of color. Approaches can include mentorship opportunities, access to community-based coaches, and so much more. Strategy number 5, enhance compensation to ensure that all professionals in the early learning workforce are earning equitable wages, including benefits. Strategy number 6, enhance retention for a strong workforce, including opportunities to learn from one another, right? To de-silo our field, to come together based on community needs. Number 7, expand access to shared services, Think health and mental health consultation, healing center approaches, and support for financial and administrative capacity building in languages and methods that work for all. Number 8, provide child care health consultation to early learning professionals that matches their cultural and linguistic needs in their cultural and linguistic families and communities they serve. And last but not least, build public awareness that results in advocacy for budget and policy actions to increase compensation and enhance the stability of the early learning workforce. This is an opportunity, y'all. An opportunity to change the way that we are viewed, the way that we operate, the way that we come together as a community. And I know with your strength, with your blessings, with the gifts, with the values that you all bring to your own individual communities, if we were to collaborate and think and move together upstream, we can achieve everything we set out in this video and more.